Welcome,
Internet,
people.
where,
Playing
quest
60
for
and
my
name
is
Shannon.
and
Your
name
is
also.
Shannon. God damn it, how did we get so good at being like improv professionals?
We're just like on the level, man. Dude, those two dragons are spooky.
I know.
Spooky.
Just show up and just start flapping their wings. And then I use my magic meatballs that fall from the sky in order to show them who's boss.
Cloudy with a chance of meatballs.
Oh my
Dude,
god, that's totally a thing.
those wings don't look like they could, like, carry the weight of such a majestic creature.
That's why he's having such a tough time. They can't actually fly, they just flap about uselessly on the ground while they try and get into the air. And then Brian is just, like, beating them to death as they're trying to fly away.
Jeez.
Yeah,
I love his shoulder. I love like Brian's weird blue red cape, like the little like cowl shoulder portion. It's
Yeah.
just so strange.
It is really strange. It's the sort of thing that a young child that lives in a monastery for his entire life until
Right.
he decides to go on a quest battling creatures throughout the land.
Now, was he wearing that before the quest, or did he don it specifically for the quest?
These are his pajamas. He just never got dressed when he had to leave. He had to leave very suddenly.
Oh gosh, so I've been playing Ni no Kuni for PlayStation, and
I don't understand those words.
well, the gameplay reminded me of this awful game.
How did that make you feel?
It made me feel, well, I don't know. I really am loving that game. I'm loving that game almost as much as I'm loving Quest 64.
Do I like Quest 64?
I don't know. Do you like Quest 64?
I
mean,
don't know
you've played and beaten it multiple times.
Well, that doesn't say a whole lot. I've played and beaten a lot of terrible games multiple times, like I don't know, Gothic 3.
Yeah, but you love Gothic 3. You love Gothic 3. It is your favorite, like, next to Aiden Chronicles, it is your favorite game.
Is it?
I'm pretty sure I can name your top 5. I'm gonna name Ryan's top 5 video games of all time. Number 1 is Morrowind. Number 2 is Aiden Chronicles. Number 3 is Gothic 3. And number 4 is Quest 64. No, wait, actually, number 4 is, what was that awful game with David Bowie?
Omicron. The Nomad Soul?
Omicron is your number 4, and Quest 64 is your number 5. There you go. And then number 6 is Unreal Tournament.
This is shocking. This is so shocking. How do you know me better than I know myself? I couldn't even.
How would you answer that question?
How would I answer my question? Like, what's your top 5?
What's your top 5? I'll make it easy for you. You don't have to name them in order. Just give me like your 5 favorite games.
Like my 5 favorite games?
Your
Or
favorite. Your favorite.
My 5
Your
favorite
favorite.
games. No, you know what? You're 100% right. All this game, like, I can't argue with the list.
You just love bad RPGs. You love them. Although Morrowind's not a bad RPG. Like, Morrowind fits into that crowd of games quite nicely, but Morrowind is incredible.
It's kind of the cream of the crop. Although, you know what? I will say I would probably flip in the list. I would probably put Aiden Chronicles above Morrowind in that list.
Oh my goodness, that just breaks my heart.
Does it? Well,
It does.
I can't.
You have a
help liking
Morrowind
the things I
desktop.
like.
You have a Morrowind wallpaper.
Well, that's just
You
because
made
no
a
one's
Bel-
making.
you made,
No
you
one's.
made a Belmora house mod. You made multiple Belmora house mods, if I recall correctly.
No, I made a Balmora one. I made a one that was in a boat, and I made a Telvanni one. I made a. Oh god, I also made a quest mod that was really terrible. It involves
Oh my
Skink
god!
and Tree Shade.
Okay, for a second, let's do a total conversion of Morrowind. Let's make 64 in the Elder Scrolls construction set.
Let's make Quest
We'll call it-
64 the Elder Scrolls construction set. Is that what you said?
Yep.
Oh,
We'll call it
perfect.
SkyQuest. SkyQuest.
SkyQuest.
The Elder Scrolls V SkyQuest.
We would need to get a bunch of amazing skilled like modelers and textures in
No,
order
we
to
would
get
totally
all these.
we would just like use the dragons for the werven enemies, and like we
We
use
just
the
call
head
them
crab, like
wyverns.
all the enemies would be mud crabs, and
Perfect.
we just replace the trees with like the Morrowind mushrooms. Just call it a day.
Excellent. That sounds great. But just think of all of the people who care about the intellectual property of this game. We would get shut down so fast.
Oh my god.
Um,
I've already forgotten who made this game. Already put like it's been put in my mind and already it's gone. It's been more important things have taken over those slots in my brain.
all I remember is this game was published by THQ, who I
Yeah.
don't know, a few years later kind of went out of business. So
Well, THQ made a lot of terrible N64 games. It was like THQ and Midway were like the two games, like those two companies that just put out so much shovelware. Isn't to say that every game they made was bad. Like THQ's made a ton of really good games, but just remember like N64 era THQ was really bad. It was like, damn, like how many kart racers do we need?
well, Beetle Adventure Racing sure was pretty good. Shannon. Hello, Shannon. Tell us the plot that we have to know now. This is a grand city, don't you think? Well, I guess. But isn't it strange? People build a metropolis to last 10,000 years, but a human lifetime is just a passing thought.
Wow, that's like really fucking deep. And jeez, why don't you yeah.
Yeah, god damn it, Shannon. You're bumming me out.
Stop distracting Brian from his quest. He's got more important things to do than get all mopey with you.
My issue at this point is I'm in this town, and I very specifically remember there being things in these houses, but only in like 2 of the houses. And there's like,
gosh.
but there's like 24 houses, and it's like, fuck, I am 100% not going into every single one of these houses.
This town is so big.
I know, this is like when the game kind of, gets grand in its scope. It's like, look at how great this,
Yeah, look at all those barrels with fruit.
look at all these flowers. Look at these
Oh,
weird,
man.
low textured bushes. Look at
I
this.
love the hills that look like they're made out of like sherbet.
Those hills are like weird green jello. You can find
It's like
bits
I'm
of
racing
fruit
and it's like I'm racing in a Mario 64 kart racer.
I
Type
think
deal.
you made that reference in the last episode.
Oh boy, I'm pretty sure I used a reference. Like I compared the sherbet hills to something. It doesn't matter. We're senile. Nobody's listening.
Nobody's listening anyway.
Jeez.
If you are listening, you should what should people on the
Comment,
internet
like,
do?
subscribe, favorite. It really helps out. Really helps out. If you could comment. Just comment. Really help us. Really help us
Really
out.
help us out. You know what else would really help? So if you just maybe just shared it on your Google Plus page.
If you could just write a Facebook post about how much you like our videos, it really helps out.
Maybe put
You
it
could just
on.
give us if you could just donate to us on PayPal, really helps out.
Put it on the Twitter maybe, or you know what?
On Twitter, hashtag Quest64,
hashtag
Ryan, Freddy's
hashtag
unconscious.
Brian and whatnot. You just your entire post should just be hashtags. Just
It should just be one big hashtag. Just one big hashtag. It really helps out.
Yeah, it really helps out. Oh, and don't forget to share it on Friendster maybe. Put it on your Friendster.
Friendster. Black people meet.
I don't know how to respond to that. I do remember there being a social media. I don't know where I'm going right now. I'm going into the identical room repeatedly, talking to a guy named Jared who's wearing a full set of Dwemer armor. I
Just
can't
another
imagine.
day in Quest 64.
Yeah, and his face, man, so red, so red.
It's peachy.
I've learned so far that there's a guy named Fargo who escaped from his cell, and I'm pretty sure he's just like a boss fight. I'm gonna have to fight.
Sweet. I feel like that's what happens in every single town. Someone alludes to a boss fight.
And yeah, and then
That happens.
you go and fight it, and then arbitrarily you get to continue moving.
Yep,
It's
pretty much.
shocking, like how every single character in this game has a unique character model. Like it's every single dumb character who says 3 lines of useless
They have
dialogue.
faces, but they're all wearing the same like exact armor. Like they're all the same body.
Well, you know, even still, like, this is the Nintendo 64. This is the console that gave us Aiden Chronicles, a game where literally every male NPC was identical, except in different towns they wore different shirts.
That's what The Witcher was like. The first Witcher game, I remember, they were so lazy. There were two, like, critically important NPCs that both had the same exact character model. Like they just had a male aristocrat like character model. It was like you talked to a lot of like male aristocrats in that game, and some of them were like very pivotal to the story.
That's great. Oh god, it's how they it seems very identical to the way Aiden Chronicles is. Suddenly now I want to play The Witcher because like every time you mention something about it, it's a little bit hammy. It just kind of like turns a gear in my head. It's like, oh, a hammy WRPG. That seems right up my alley.
It's so fucking hammy. The only thing that like it's not quite the kind of like they're definitely, I think it would scratch an itch for you, but it definitely like kind of comes from a different world of WRPGs that you don't really play too often. Like it definitely stems from like the kind of like, you know, isometric like Black Isle games, and like, you know, it's built off of Neverwinter Nights, strangely.
Yeah. Ugh, Neverwinter Nights. I never played it.
Oh my god, Neverwinter Nights is awful. Someone's gonna hate me. Someone's gonna hate me for saying that. But like, it's not an awful game by any stretch of the imagination. It's just like, you know, like there were like so many isometric D&D games that were like based off of AD&D that were like just so unbelievably good. And then like WRPGs started doing really interesting things, and like Neverwinter Nights was like, hey guys, like we did the same. Like it's Baldur's Gate, but it's like the story is not compelling, the characters aren't interesting, and it's, you know, it's fucking like Dungeons & Dragons 3rd edition.
Wait, so are you telling me that it's Dragon Age Origins?
No, Dragon Age, like, it's kind of. The thing about Dragon Age Origins that kills me is that, like, I don't care much for the gameplay in Dragon Age Origins. I just feel like no matter what you make your character class, it's just not fun.
Yeah. I kind of got that because
the hats.
Because that game, like that's an Edmonton developed game, so I was like, you know what, I'm gonna get into this. This is gonna be fantastic, and I'm gonna love this game. It's gonna be it's gonna be the thing that I play for a while. And it's like I played a significant portion of that, and it just never kind of
connected with you.
It never connected.
That's yeah.
I played like multiple characters, right?
I know. The thing with me about Dragon Age was that like I get very passionate talking about my dislike of that game, and like the truth of the matter is that Dragon Age is a well-developed good game that is fun to play, but it just feels like there is such a discrepancy between like, the average to goodness that the game is and how much people talk about. Like, I feel like people adore Dragon Age Origins, and I think it's the worst game that BioWare's ever put out, besides like Old Republic.
Yeah.
Like out of their bread and butter, like WRPGs, I think that Dragon Age is easily the worst one. And the thing is that like everybody always tells me like, oh, but it's Baldur's Gate, and it's just like it'll never be Baldur's Gate. Just don't compare it to Baldur's Gate. It's not Baldur's Gate. It's never going to be Baldur's Gate.
Oh, you
to me,
are
it's just
passionate
like
about it. Jeez.
Every like BioWare game that's ever come out, like every BioWare game, like improved and like pushed towards a certain direction, and it's just like because of that, it's like I love Knights of the Old Republic, or it's like I love Baldur's Gate, and then I love Knights of the Old Republic, and then I love like Jade Empire, and then I love Mass Effect, and it's like to me like Mass Effect is like the pinnacle of like what BioWare's done so far. Like there are a whole bunch of things I don't care. Like I don't care for how like boiled down like Mass Effect 2 and 3 became, but like Mass Effect is like such a well developed universe and such an interesting like arrangement of characters and just like a fun world to explore, and Dragon Age has zilch with that. Like it's just not fun.
Well, Dragon Age
it had Barkspawn, yeah. Barkspawn was the best part of that game. The best part of that game came from a Penny Arcade joke.
Yeah, that's how you could tell that you've hit gold with a video game.
Yeah.
But this is it. We did it.
Yeah, yeah.
We did
Sorry
it.
we babbled about a different game instead.
Well, could have been worse. We could have been babbling about Quest 64.
That's
Hey,
true.